Welcome back to the Boardroom Breakdown, which distills complex strategy and tech into quick, executive-ready briefings. These are bite-sized videos that surface the essentials, the concept, the stakes, and the moves that drive outcomes. No fluff, just signal, so you can ramp up on new topics in minutes and make sharper decisions between meetings. Today, we're looking at an innovative operating model from Mesh Digital designed to solve one of the most persistent problems in business. Okay, let's dive into this.
It's a question every leader has asked. We're not just talking about a little inefficiency here and there. We're talking about that critical moment when a brilliant strategy leaves the boardroom and starts its dangerous journey toward becoming a real thing. This is where so many great ideas just fall apart.
So what really happens to that vision, to all that momentum, when the plan moves from one specialized team to another? Well, that's the handoff. And that's exactly where the friction builds, where value gets lost, and where accountability, frankly, just evaporates.
According to Mesh Digital's CEO, Michael D. Kleinberg, this is the core issue facing companies today. See, the problem usually isn't the strategy itself. It's the broken process of passing it from the advisors who wrote it, to the builders who have to create it, to the bankers who have to fund it. It's a relay race where everyone's running in a slightly different direction. This handoff problem really comes from a fractured landscape of advisors and builders, and this slide illustrates the contrast perfectly. On the left, you've got the old way. Strategy, delivery, and capital all in their own inefficient silos. On the right, you see Mesh's unified model, where all three are fused together from day one in a single accountable motion.
And the costs of that fractured model? They're significant and probably pretty familiar to many of you in the boardroom. You get friction and costly delays. Momentum stalls out. The original vision gets watered down with every handoff. And worst of all, you end up with these orphan strategy decks. Beautiful PowerPoints with absolutely no path to actually getting done.
So you get the problem. It's a big one. The crucial point is, how do you fix it? Well, Mesh Digital frames their solution not as just another advisory service, but as a completely new operating system for the business, one that's built to fuse that initial vision directly with real, tangible value. The whole idea is built on this really simple but powerful principle. It's about installing an integrated system that gets things done in one continuous motion, without all the friction and finger-pointing that comes from endless handoffs.
Now, what's really interesting is how they break this system down into three core components. Think of it as the what, the how, and the fuel. Let's take a look. First up, the what. This is their ecosystem orchestrator mesh. Now, this isn't just about a strategy document. Think of it more like a GPS that navigates the entire competitive landscape. It's about creating one accountable path that interconnects everything, your customers, partners, platforms, and capital, and gets them all pulling in the same direction.
Next is the how, and this is their core service innovation for turning decisions into action. They call them Strategy in Motion pods. These are agile, operator-led teams that integrate right into your business. They fuse strategy, capital, and delivery into these really fast, adaptive sprints that just eliminate the silos and accelerate the outcomes. And finally, the fuel. This is the capital stack mesh, and it's a novel financial engine that aligns the money directly with the plan. From the very beginning, it ensures that every move you make is funded and that the capital strategy is perfectly in sync with the operational strategy.
So that's the framework. But for any C-suite leader, the real question is pretty simple. Does it actually work? Let's look at the results.
The source material provides some pretty compelling evidence. Take this piece of feedback from a chief architect at a Fortune 500 bank. I mean, think about that. That kind of deep integration where your partner knows the program better than you do, that's how you know something different is happening.
And that deep integration led directly to these kinds of board-grade financial outcomes. In just 2 quarters, we're talking about a 310 basis point increase in blended return on invested capital, and over $100 million in capital redirected to things that actually move the needle. Here's another example, connecting that operational speed right to executive satisfaction. You just don't hear a chief experience officer at a global industrial manufacturer say something like this very often. It really speaks volumes about the impact on the ground.
So what's the metric behind that kind of enthusiasm? It's a dramatic acceleration in getting things done, a 37% improvement in the time it takes to complete an initiative. And again, that's in just 2 quarters. This is what happens when you get rid of those handoff delays.
So the crucial point here is that this model moves way beyond just giving advice. It's about delivering tangible, measurable impact. It's about taking an idea all the way from a board slide to a shipped outcome.
What this all boils down to is a single, accountable journey from vision to value. You start with the strategy on a board slide. You move to the capital alignment of a term sheet, and you end with a real-world shipped outcome, one clean, continuous motion.
Now, this integrated approach is designed specifically for regulated and scale-minded enterprises. So we're talking about financial institutions, wealth managers, healthcare systems, these big, complex organizations where a dropped handoff isn't just inefficient, it's a serious risk.
So by unifying strategy, capital, and delivery, the model really aims to eliminate that friction that just kills growth and create one clear path to results. And this brings us to a final critical question that every leader needs to ask. Your strategy exists. It's on a slide somewhere, but who is actually accountable for the outcome?